except that we don't have time, so I will stop at 6:45. So I will ask all team to share at least one idea, and if we have time, we will discuss on the top of those ideas, okay? One of my colleagues from RBS is going to give you the mic, okay? Who would like to start? Who volunteers? Everyone is going to speak, so anyone can volunteer. Should I say? Okay, there you have one. Okay.
One idea that we came up with, or actually we're discussing as a group, and it's really opened my eyes to how much you can do within the school, was creating, either simulations where they actually have to use these elevator techniques, or trying to be able to, or working with other students that's been through this process, where you have a group of younger students that have to use an elevator technique to more experienced students, and then for the older students to provide feedback, so they both get to see a little bit of the progression. It's just, there's a lot of different things that's in my head right now, but I'll go with that.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. Who follows? Come on, all team has at least one idea. Yes. Right. Okay, let's continue with the bottom of the last thing. Yeah.
I can tell something about what we are doing, but it is already presented with the project by AP and PIA. The only thing that maybe is a little bit different, that we in Holland are using a lot of entrepreneurs to teach our students the practical things in selling. So it's the entrepreneurs who are there and who are giving the example, or how does you do it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we have the feeling that when an entrepreneur is telling them how they should do it, sometimes it's for the students not clearer, but maybe
more credible.
Yeah. They believe them.
Yeah.
And when we're telling it, they say, "Oh." So that's the difference.
No, that's a wonderful difference. That is, I mean, it's very close to the senior to junior, right? Somehow the message, what is important is the message, right? So, and then you use someone else as your voice.
Well,
that has certain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. Thank you so much.
And the nicest thing is that's a real situation. That it's not in the school, but it's outside. It's working with real customers and with real products and with, well, the environment.
So you.
Yeah, but it's not theoretical. Right? It's practical. Very practical.
Excuse me. You bring the pupils to the company, or the entrepreneur comes to the classroom?
No, we have the school shops.
Okay.
So,
so
it's in the city,
here.
it's outside the school. It's outside the school.
Very good. Yeah,
they are very by themselves.
Thank you so much. Who else?
I think what Annie is saying is bring your education outside the school.
So you mean that get out of the classroom
Yes.
setting to go a little bit outside? I have been trying this in the MBA program. Now we are going to try in the BBA, in the undergrad program as well, using Swedbank Auditorium in the beautiful building that you have there. What I should say that it works fantastically. Why it works is a matter of study, actually, because the students are the students. Okay, you have someone from the company there as well, that the professor is there as well. But somehow the change of the setting somehow helps a lot. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that works. Okay, excellent. One idea from your team? Do you want to share something? Yeah? Okay. Which other team? Yeah.
That's the same,
it's a little bit the same as the other ones tells as well, but I think important that you teach the students that you never sell a product but always the idea. And that they have to think about the idea behind the products and then try it in a real environment to sell.
How do you distinguish the idea from the product itself? How do you see that difference between one and the other?
Excuse me?
Yeah, you say that try to teach the pupil to sell the idea and not the product. Did I get it?
Yeah, that's right.
What is the difference between one and the other? And between the idea and the product as such?
Well, if you sell an ID, for example, if you have a dishwasher, you sell the free time you have,
Yeah.
and what you do with that, and then you sell the product. So you have to make the environment actually. That's the 3 points you said in your presentation.
Right.
And I think they have to think about that part of selling,
Right.
instead what kind of issues that product has.
That's a fantastic thing. I tell you an example that I just heard twice in the last week. And it's, I think, from a professor of Harvard. It's some company that maybe you know were selling milkshakes. Anyone know the story? No. So they understand that they had a lot of milkshake selling and they wanted to innovate more on the milkshakes. So they decided they wanted to understand why the people were buying milkshakes. Actually, what happened is that they started to add a lot of features to the milkshakes to produce different type of milkshakes, and the sales of milkshakes didn't increase with that. So they were still. So somehow innovation of the milkshakes didn't work out. So then they decided to try to understand why the customer bought milkshakes. So they stayed outside the store one whole day, trying to understand the customer. And they didn't get anything till one of the person in the team said, hey, wait a moment. 50% of the milkshakes we sell before 9 a.m. 50% of the milkshake we sell before 9 a.m. What's going on? So they went back to the store, and then every person was buying a milkshake before 9 a.m. They were asking, why do you buy the milkshake? And actually the reason why they were buying the milkshake is because they have a long ride between the home and the work. So it is in the United States, so they have more than an hour, 2 hours of drive till the office, and they said a milkshake was the perfect companion for me. So they didn't want any extraordinary milkshake, they just wanted something with a lot of vitamin, and that they can entertain themselves during the hour they were driving. And when they get to the office, they are not hungry with that. And then he said, and this is a good idea, so what he said, the professor said, what the customer was doing, he was hiring the milkshake to provide the vitamins and the entertainment during the 2-hour drive. He was not buying a milkshake. So this is the difference between product and idea. Great. Another team. Come on, all teams have ideas. Here we have Una.
Hello, I'm from Norway, and in our school we have student companies, and when they have this business idea or made a business plan, we have what we call a syretest or acid test. And that is that people from outside the school, business people working with business, they come into the school, and then they have to present in 2 minutes the idea, and then he responds to the idea, asks them difficult questions. Have you thought about this, and try to change maybe the idea to something else that is better. And the same thing that said earlier, they listen more to people outside, and then us teachers.
Yes. Don't take it.
That's it.
So So one of the reasons why also we bring outsiders to the class in RBS, one is that they listen more sometimes. The other is we want to test our students. So, and sometimes you get used to your students actually, and you want to understand their level. What is the level? So a lot of time we bring outsiders, people from the business community most of the time, to the classroom. And when they end the class, or in some moment, we go immediately and we ask them, how did you see them? And we try to understand their questions, how they intervene. So, and also the students develop a lot of people skills there, because it's easy to ask to a professor they see every day. But it's not so easy to ask to someone or to actually criticize or challenge someone that you see for the first time. So it's a great idea to bring outsiders to the classroom. So yeah, thank you. Okay, more ideas. Yeah.
We made the product more relevant to each individual. So like how you sell something to a teenage girl is not going to be the same to how you sell to an older woman or an older man. So we talked about how we could just individualize every product and create a niche that would appeal to each person.
Individualize the teaching about these sales, right? So that according to every pupil age and capacity, right? Yeah, okay. I have been a witness of, in RBS we have a few weeks ago, the European Youth Parliament. Do you know what's that? So it's three times a year, youngsters from all over Europe meet in one place and they make a simulation of the European Parliament. And they work much more than the Parliament, than the real MP, to be honest, okay? So we had in our building roughly 300 youngsters from a lot of countries. And they had to prepare resolutions about different issues. And one of the two resolutions were about education. And in that resolution, they pointed out many things. But one of the things they requested is individualized education. So, and actually what they ask, what is I think is a big challenge to the European system, but to any system, is that the pupils are not allocated according to their age. So that there is, this is what the youngster requests, that according to their IQ and EQ, that according to their intelligence level and habits level, they are allocated in different groups. I know that this is a big challenge, but I think I endorse the issue of individual. In what some schools are doing, because of you cannot do that in the current system, is to put mentors, individual mentors, and individual coaches. So this is a way how you can individualize education in an easier way. Okay, good. More idea. We have still 5 minutes to.
We talked a lot about coming up with alternative situations and get the customer involved. So, like, try to ask a lot of questions and try the customers to agree with you a lot, and then they will sooner make you, have easier to say yes.
Yeah.
But we also talked that it's really difficult to get the students to really dare to ask the question, are you interested?
So could you say the last part again, please?
It's hard to get the students to dare to ask the customer the question, are you interested?
Yeah, and why do you think that happens? Why it's true? Why
I think they might be afraid to fail.
Yes.
Because they see it as a failure, but as we learned earlier, it's from the failures.
Yeah, and I think we get back to the previous speakers. He talked about teaching to fail, and that is an issue in selling, but in all aspects. So, I mean, we need to teach our pupils to fail. So, how do you do that? Well, that's a task. One of the things, if they fail, so you have to make them fail. So that's the. But anyway, I cannot. But I will add as a second point, because I think it's extremely important, teaching to fail, because I think it's a great point. Okay? Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I also think they really have to dare to ask the question, because in every no they get, they will sooner get a yes as well. So.
Could you say again, please? Yeah.
They have to dare to ask the question, because for every step they will get closer and yes, they will learn to ask the right questions.
Yeah,
and stuff, so.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Thank you so much. We have time for two more. Come on, I got a lot of good points. Don't be scared to fail. So who didn't talk? You speak? You spoke already?
No, yeah.
Okay, go.
I've said everything. All our ideas have been taken.
Have been said already. Okay, there is a hand. Yeah.
We thought about the problem that the students have to use the right wording, the right words to describe their products, and how do we teach that? So we thought we could just use a simple method of one student builds something, for example, with Legos or something, and the other one cannot see it, and in a very short amount of time, he has to explain the other one what to build. And in the end, he can see if it's the right thing he built. If it's not, then he hasn't used the right words. And then that's very practical and very visual. Yes. And then shows the students, okay, I have to pay more attention to my wording.
Yes, that's fantastic. I remember when I did my training as a professor in IESE in Barcelona, the first exercise, it was killing. You know what was the exercise? We had to describe step by step how do we put our shoes and how we tie I don't know how to say the straps, okay? So you don't know how hard it is. I mean, I all my life I explain in models, but to explain that step by step is very difficult. So that is an excellent thing. So it's that pupils make a rehearsal of how to speak and how to build sentences and how to use the right wording, right? So thank you. Good. Yeah, please.
Okay, one of my partners here came up with a wonderful idea. We talked about empathizing, teaching our students how to empathize, because without empathy there can be nothing like that. Of course, I don't know if the example was that legally valid, but learning about homeless people, taking children out without their coats on in the middle of winter and see how long they could last was an interesting way of teaching empathy. But the concept, there are other ways, perhaps less dramatic and less liable, but learning how to empathize. And also, I would add to that, learning how to listen. Not just listening for a reply, but truly listening to what that person is saying. Because without taking the message, there's no way they can sell. There's no way they can actually sell anything. And we listen for replies.
That's true.
We're already formulating our own sentences.
That's true.
So
yeah, thank you so much. And there in the case of if you have a half an hour, 1 hour meeting, so you have a lot of opportunity to understand the other person. But if it is an elevator pitch, when the potential customer or investor come and you see him for only 1 second before you start speaking, what is extremely important is you understand how to listen to the body language. Because you didn't have the chance of listening another language, right? So, and there are a lot of tips how to understand the people, understanding the body language, okay? And even if you are in a fair, in a trade fair, what you have to do, you need more than one person in the stand. And one of the persons has to be monitoring the people that are coming close and how they are behaving. So you need to be prepared for every person when he's coming, right? So that, I mean, there's a lot of techniques there, but it's, thank you, yeah, this empathize and listen. Okay, Yanis will kill me if I go beyond the 15 minutes. Anyone has an idea would like to share before I close? Well, we have a lot of ideas actually, and I think Yanis will send you these slides so that you can distribute them. So we can just go quickly. So simulation where people use the elevator techniques, senior students providing feedback to junior students, using entrepreneurs to teach practical things in how to do it. After, bring the education outside the classroom, sell the idea, not the product, the example of the milkshake. I don't know if I wrote correctly asset test, but it's testing the idea with outsiders, individualize the methods, get the customer involved, so having the feedback. Well, 2 weeks ago, I believe, we have a professor from Silicon Valley, from Stanford, an investor in Silicon Valley in Riga Business School, and what he said was the first step is not creating a business model. The first step, you create a prototype. It might be €1 prototype, and go to a customer to ask what does he think. So before starting to build a business model, you know. So, okay, teaching to fail, using the right wording, teaching how to describe issues, even silly issues, how to empathize, and one of the key elements of empathy, that is how to listen. Well, wonderful work, guys. Thank you. So, and I will finish with one of my favorite pictures. You know that, right? Yeah. One thing with this I want to, for me, is in front, is in my desk for a long time already, because it inspires me in one way, but also show me that emotions are very important. So when you become, when you create a product, you have an idea, you become an expert on that. Sooner or later, you know much more than the rest of the world about your idea, at least. Okay. So then, when you meet a customer, you want to say how cool that idea is, and you start with a lot of technicalities. Really, I mean, the technicalities are important, but actually, he is not so interested about that. You can say a couple of those things just to support the argumentation, but what is very important is the emotions you bring into that. And I think that is a lot about this, the emotion. This face tells you so many things that you will need maybe one chapter or of 100 pages to describe exactly what that image is saying. So that was what I have to offer to you. Thank you for your work.
And also thanks to Claudio from Junior Achievement, and I think also from all the teachers here. So the result is outstanding, and we could see it, and it proves our aim somehow, because it was also to teach, to learn from ourselves, to learn from each other, and we heard a lot of really good quotes, and I think we have learned from each other. So thank you a lot for managing this.
Please do. All right. In some wrap-up, because Claudio did not use the 4 coffee coupons I have, I'm obligated to give them out. But as you all know, they are earned, not given. On the Junior Achievement website for Junior Achievement USA, they had done a study. Their most recent study was a millennial survey to find out about attitudes of millennials. And the key findings were that they are risk-averse, They distrust in the old and embrace of the new. They believe in peer entering and collaboration, and they have a desire for personal fulfillment and social good. With that, that breaks out into a lot of good statistics, which we can test ourselves on. One of the first things, obviously, that's asked is, would you want to be an entrepreneur or would you want to work for somebody? And actually, 46% said that they would rather have the stability of working than take the risk of being an entrepreneur. And when you get to that and you get to work, okay, you want to work. Would you want to work or would you want to stay in school? Which is, I think, a trend in a lot of places. People are staying in school. 64% chose the job. But that's broken out. That piece of folks that chose school breaks out differently, gender-wise. Who believes boys wanted to stay in school more than girls? That's a good answer. 45% of the girls versus just 36% of the boys wanted to stay in school. All right. And then where they find their collaboration and what makes them happy. I'm going to have to now give out all of these on just a few questions. Let me give you some answers and you're going to tell me what's the top ones. What do they want from their jobs? Since slightly more than half said job over entrepreneurial work anyway. They're thinking about jobs. And again, the big hunk of all of this is filling the skills gap. They said things like fun place to work was a choice, flexibility, stability, a decent salary, fulfilling their passions, excitement. Let me ask, what do you suppose the number one out of those answers was as far as what they want from their job?
Salary.
Not one of you's got it yet. I'll read them again. Excitement, fun place to work, flexibility, stability, a decent salary, or fulfills my passions. Huh? Correct. 27%. Again, you know, it's interesting. You spent quite a while just now talking. Congratulations. Yeah. Who would guess now on the second answer?
Flexibility.
No. No.
Exciting.
Not one of you said it. Salary. Correct. Congratulations. 24% said salary. Oop. Giving you my business card. I'm sorry. I was supposed to give all those away. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. So, to give you some answers, fulfills my passions with 27%, a decent salary, 24%, stability, 14%, flexibility, 11%. I would take any job right now, 9%. A fun place to work, 8%. Excitement, 5%. That's who you're teaching. That is what they see in happiness. I believe this group was 14 to 30-year-olds. It was a pretty broad group. Okay, millennials. It was broad millennials.
Born in 76, after service.
Because I think it's different when you
It,
older people.
it changes, the different age groups, they break it out in the age groups, some of the age groups they track it, and the report talks a little bit about how it changes during the life cycle. All right, but even though money was the number 2 thing, it's not about the money. A large percentage, that was the only clue you're going to get, said that they would take a job they love over one that pays well. Who can take a shot at what percentage said that? Close. Close. Closer. 73. Who said it? Congratulations. 73%. 73% of that. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. We're down to the last coffee card. The last coffee card. And then it's just some admin. An overwhelming percent said they would rather serve others than serve or build their own brand identity in their career. So there's some character in that generation. What percentage do you think said that? Higher.
60.
Higher.
70.
Little higher.
80.
No. No. Too high. Too high.
70.
Just a little too high.
70.
A little too high.
75.
Too high.
71.
71. Did you win one of these already?
I'm afraid so. Yes.
Oh, well then share. Okay, that's some interesting research on folks and on their situation. Thank you all very much. I think maybe let's start all this by giving Giannis and Cynthia a hand. Okay, you guys did a great job. Now, for all of you partiers, and I can see there's a lot of you out there, you're requested to start gathering downstairs at 7:20. You're going to take, or at least you're going to be escorted by volunteers. You're going to get 2 tram tickets and a map. You're just a little ways from, for those of you who just got in, you're just a little ways from the Old Town, and it's just across the river. The river is probably 400 meters this way. The tram's going to take you around the corner over the Stone Bridge. At about the 3rd stop, just over the bridge, they're going to get you out and they're going to take you to the venue, which is the Folk Club ALA basement. And you can come back. You also have, I think, emailed or in your instructions, if you want to come back, use the phone numbers, because just by rule, the hailing a taxi in Old Town is much more expensive than calling a taxi. And there's a lot of freelance taxiers who may not actually reveal what the rates are. It should not cost you any more than €5 to get back to this hotel. Okay, so but defend yourself, because it's not the most policed activity in the world. But it's a very safe place to visit. You'll enjoy it. You'll love it. You have a big day tomorrow, so try not to stay up too late. And thank you all. Have a great time. Have a great conference. Thank you.
Thanks from Junior Children's side. And still the round of applause for our amazing moderator. It was a very interesting day and you made it very special. Thanks. So now everything is clear, and let's meet you downstairs in 20 minutes when we will go by public transport till Old Town.